Hi, I'm Drea and this is Camo. Together we share a passion for both classic cars and discovering the great outdoors with a trusty four-wheel drive. But then we wondered, can we do both at once? So we hatched a wild idea. Let's build the ultimate vintage off-road vehicle and take it on an adventure across all of Australia. We sought about finding a suitable vehicle, and with a bit of help, we found a true gem, a factory four-wheel drive 1966 GMC pickup truck, straight off a ranch in California. And while it journeyed by boat to Australia, we got to work sourcing parts. Using a 60 series Toyota Landcruiser as our donor vehicle, we extracted the motor and gearbox to get everything ready for the conversion. So by now, all we needed was for the truck to show up. Alright, well this is it. It finally arrived. It's been, how long has it been? Like
6 months. So after its long-awaited trip from America, the truck is finally here. Let's have a quick look around as it's come straight off the boat. Happy just to finally have it here now. A bit of a issue with shipping and busted the headlights, but that's okay because we're going to replace all those anyway. I'll give you a quick run around before we pull it apart to start all the building. Oh, it's a nice patina. Sports liner camper on the back. It's all pretty good. Got a few rough spots in it here and there. Got to replace all the bed floors all gone. That's no big deal. Got different rims on this side because it come over and had all flat tyres, so it's actually popped the bead really bad and I couldn't get them to pump back up, so I had these spare ones in the shed to chuck on just to roll it around. Look inside, all fairly original still. Gun rack. Yeah, very happy that it's here. First thing we'll be doing is stripping the motor out. Currently has its original 305 V6 in it. We will be swapping that out with a 12H-T turbo diesel. That'll be the very first thing to get hook into. So we'll give you a quick run around as it is now, and we'll continue the build episodes. That's how she looks with no canopy.
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that to go so well.
This thing was a complete pain in the ass to get off. They not only bolted it, but decided to weld it onto the chassis as well, where you couldn't exactly get a cut-off wheel into. Old trucks, gotta love them. Got all the tub, canopy and rear bar slash tow bar off this thing. What a headache, but got there. So yeah, here's what she looks like. That all off. Got a little chassis and that there. Plenty of room. Now I'll put it back into the shed, right back in the corner, and then take all the front end off tomorrow and get this motor out. Happy days. Got all the front end off now. A bit of a mission. All these rusty old bolts. Anyway, the joys. And it's got to remove that motor now. Not bad progress for a couple of days. Just a little update for you guys. Didn't think we were going to get it done this weekend, but here she is, all done. Motor out. Wasn't too bad of a job, but got there in the end. It's off to a new home next week, so Then I'll be on to cleaning this front chassis part up anyway, and cutting that old gearbox cross member out. And then see how this new donk's gonna fit in. So we got all the motor, gearbox out, all the front ends off. Now this weekend I'm going to remove all these old engine mounts, these ones, prep this front chassis rail up, remove this gearbox cross member, we will no longer need it, and then also got all the interior out of it. Then also need to remove the fuel tank. Don't feel like grinding away with that still in there. And then hopefully we'll then be able to test fit the motor in. So I'm excited about getting that motor, sitting in there, seeing what I've got to do to get it fit. Hopefully it all fits in nice. So it's just mainly trial and error, and fitting, taking out, fitting, taking out multiple times just to get the right fit, and then clean it all up, and then we'll start boxing in this front chassis. Box both sides in, then fab up some new engine mounts and gearbox cross member and get that motor fitted in there. Fuel line is out. These old trucks all got heaps of rivets, so I undone the rivets, popped them out, made that one's free, just cut it open, and just got a little bit holding that one on still. Get the old persuasion stick. I'll give him a hit. Boom, there we go. Now I can get into these other rivets a bit easier and take all the rest out. We got all the old cross members out yesterday, the old engine mounts out of the frame as well. They weren't too bad to get out. Then we mocked up this motor in here for the first time, and overall pretty happy with it. It fits, there's no cutting out, no nothing. Probably the only biggest thing is just the front engine mounts, a bit in an awkward position, but yeah, I'll give you guys a look. We've got all pretty good clearance in everywhere. Just these front engine mounts are a bit in awkward positions. They're just sort of not in line, they're not square on the motor either, which makes it a bit harder. Got all that sitting in there. Even the old dump pipe is going to work off the turbo, which will good because I kept all the stainless steel exhaust off the 60 series that this motor come out of. So overall pretty happy. Got all the transmission and that sits pretty well in here, and it even looks like I'll be able to use the old 60 series gearbox cross member. It fits nearly exactly in between these rails as well, which I'm real happy about, because that's one less thing you sort of got to really fabricate up. But yeah, all in all, pretty happy with it. So today I'll get this motor back out. I just wanted to make sure it was going to fit without having to cut all the firewall and that out of it or something silly like that. So happy with most of the fitment. So I'll take it out. Now we'll clean up the front chassis rails. There's a bit of a crack in the chassis here with the old steering box, so I'll have to repair it, and then yeah, I'll box this front section in and refit the motor back in, and then start fabricating up some front engine mounts and try and get it sitting in there. We've got these boxing sections done where the front engine mounts will go. The reason I didn't go all the way up here is because this is where the steering box mounts, so we can still get into that, and then all the brake lines still. I've got the ones down here for the gearbox cross member to go to. Got all those engine mounts welded in. That done the other day. So we'll start cleaning up this front chassis rail and get all this front chassis all painted up, looking a bit fresher. We're slowly chipping away at this thing. Got most of chassis all painted, engine mounts in. Now starting to get a lot of parts through, which I've been waiting on. So got our new front leaf springs have turned up and all the hardware. So it's a disc brake conversion we got done over in the States. Tom and Carson over at NEVILLE'S Automotive fitted the new disc brake front end and dual master booster and that. So today I was going to drop this diff out and clean it all up, clean up the steering arms and that, and fit up all this new front end in it and hopefully get it back together, and then we can get that motor fitted back in. Success. There we go. Get the diff out. Go ahead and undo these leaves, drop them out, and put the new ones in. There we go. All new front suspension in, all new bushes. Clean that front diff up. Brakes back on. Now we can fit that motor in. Got a new hydraulic clutch booster to put in, or master cylinder. All get in there. Pretty stoked, excuse the mess, but got this motor actually fitting in here and bolted in, so I'll show you guys a look. There we go. Pretty satisfying milestone moment in the build. Few little tweaks I'm just not quite happy with, but all in all, it's all in there. Very stoked. We've gone ahead and done most of the rust repairs now. Got them done the other weekend, and then We sprayed the floor with this rust preventive slash sealing paint, just to seal all the rest of that surface rust up. And then gone over all the rust panels and just put all seam sealer over, just to make sure there's no little pinholes in any of those welds. If we're doing a full resto, I just would have replaced the whole floor, but we're not, so I just patched it up for now, and it'll get the job done. And then we'll once that all dries, I'm gonna spray a body deadener coat over the whole floor, and then we'll be using car builders on top of that also, just to try and make it nice and comfortable inside for them long trips.
It was around this time that documenting build really fell by the wayside. We had to get this build finished by the end of our lease, which was fast approaching, and either having to pack up and sell all our possessions, getting everything ready for the trip, packing the caravan, and so from here on in, we just have what we filmed on our phones.
I got another rust repair that Cam's done that I need to paint, and I need to make it match the rest of the car. With some Repsol, stuff where you don't want to paint with some cardboard.
And here's the finished product. Here's a few more different areas that I painted to match the patina of the car, where Cam had brought it back to bare metal to do these rust repairs. And yeah, we could have let it just rust on its own and eventually match the car, but we figured it was better to just protect it and have it painted looking good enough so that from a distance that you couldn't tell that anything had happened to it.
I'm gonna clean up all this blood. Well, I heard him swear and throw something, and so I came out like, hey man, you alright? And no, he was not okay. I mean, he's okay, but oh, he'll be fine. It's just a cut. It's just a bad cut, but he'll be fine.
Cam installed the under dash system from Vintage Air, so we had some aircon, and we got a new fuel cap. The day the floor went in was so exciting. We varnished some marine grade plywood and bolted it in using some of the original brackets, and it just came up so beautiful. Then the truck had to go to Toowoomba to be wired up because any auto electricians that we contacted in Brisbane just didn't want to borrow this thing. But Cam's guy did a really great job. She started first go. It was super exciting. And then the truck wouldn't move. The clutch just would not engage. We had to get this thing on a hoist stat because we did not have time to pull out a motor just to fix a faulty clutch. Although conveniently, it decided to kind of work when we put it on the tow truck. This is Tom from NEVILLE'S Automotive. He's the one who sourced the truck for us in the US, and coincidentally was staying with us when all this was going down, so he helped drive it up onto the tow truck because Cam was at work. I was not game to do it myself. And what are the odds? Tom hooked us up with another client of his who he'd sourced trucks for in the US. That was 10 minutes from our place with a workshop. Dan was such a legend for fitting us in at short notice to get this clutch out and get a new one in so we could get this big girl driving.
be running epic. It's so nice to not have to break the motor in too. Yeah, do a drive-by, sure. Buzz the tower.
Naturally, we cracked open a few beers to celebrate the successful engine swap. It was also the perfect chance to get together a few of the American pickups in Brisbane that Tom had sourced in the USA. So along with our GMC, we had Dan Cooper's 71 Ford F100, and Dan Marshall's just an overachiever because he had two trucks, his 63 C2500 and his 71 Chev C20. Tom was about to head back home to California, so he was pretty excited to be able to see the trucks together in Australia before he took off. I think Banksy was a bit sad when he left though, because she was obsessed with him. We figured it would be a good idea to replace the old windscreen and window seals with some new ones, given the original seals were a bit hard and perished. While trying to tap it in, it broke. We were freaking out as we were running out of time to get this truck finished. And getting a new windscreen out from States could have taken weeks or months, and not to mention the cost of at least $1,000 to get it shipped over. But luckily Cam knew a guy who found us one in Australia. The new one's really cool. It has the old school blue tin strip at the top. And yeah, we held our breath as we put it in, just way more gently this time. Let me tell you the relief we felt once that glass was safely in. Many thanks to Paul from Katrina Windscreens for hooking us up. Once that little mishap was sorted, we were so close to being finished. The last major task was getting the four-wheel drive shaft altered so it could marry up with the Toyota gearbox. And once we had four-wheel drive back, we could get the truck dyno tested and tuned, and let me tell you, it was so worth it. The improvement in power and efficiency is like night and day. And with that, finally the truck was ready to hit the road, and thank goodness for that, because after a mad 18 months of getting ready for this trip, we were just hanging to get out there and start traveling. If you'd like to see how the truck goes tackling off-road conditions and towing the van, be sure to chuck us a like and a subscribe, as we'd love to share more of our adventures with you.